You've probably seen this list shared on social media. Team Hardwork versus Team Talent, where Team Hardwork means no genetic advantage, simply became strong in a way anyone else can, and Team Talent means their strength is derived from circumstances impossible to replicate for the average person. But are these lists accurate? I've seen hardcore back and forth, and as someone who's been a weeb and personal trainer who knows a little something about working hard for decades at this point, I decided to break it down with 10 different characters, and who knows, if this does well, I might do others. But for today, we're going to stick with the main protagonist of 10 different series, starting with none other than the icon himself. Goku should be pretty set in stone for the fact he is the primary face of workout motivation for many these days. But something people forget is they rank Goku by human standards, but not for his species. Because remember, Goku is a Saiyan, a monkey alien from a species of monkey aliens who are all vastly stronger than him. And this race of monkey aliens, while formidable and decimating planets, were also considered fodder to Frieza's species and honestly most of Frieza's alien forces. So of course his genetics are going to be better than the average human beings because Earth was looked at as a weak planet, but he's not meant to be looked at as a human like other protagonists are. However, unlike an alien character like Superman who really just needs to bake in the yellow sun to get reality warping power, our boy Goku had to work his ass off. Kakarot, the Saiyan warrior, was ranked as a nobody to his species and gradually trained and worked to be one of the strongest beings in his verse. His older brother Raditz was already considered a weakling and bodied Goku casually after all the incredible feats we saw him pull off in the original Dragon Ball series, which again is still the best of the franchise, don't at me. And Goku's determination to just keep getting stronger by grinding is so motivational and the reason he's been my idol since 3rd grade in the 90s. But here's the thing I want to say, I actually consider Goku from Dragon Ball's manga release in 1984 to Dragon Ball Z's anime end in 1996 different characters in 2013 and on Goku, and here's why. There's been this debate on both sides of them flanderizing Goku in Dragon Ball Super, and honestly, when you reread the entire manga back to back, like Ball to Z's story to Super, some things do become noticeable. You do see Goku's intelligence gradually improve as the series progresses from Kid Goku to Z Goku, and there is a level of maturity and intelligence being shown by him, but when you get to Super, while he's not on his, abridged parody level self, there are a lot of instances of regression of intelligence for comedy's sake, so much so that even the Japanese themselves have poked fun at this difference. Also, Akira Toriyama is a very, very, very forgetful person, and heck, even recently just forgot Dragon Ball Super was called Dragon Ball Super, and has done some George Lucas-style altering to his series by adding his own version of Star Wars midichlorians, but calling them S-cells, and they are how Super Saiyans are made nowadays, which kind of zaps the whole I was an outcast weakling who grinded so hard and then my emotions got overwhelmed and they let me transform to be a Super Saiyan, to now, when I was ready, I had enough S-cells in my body and they let me transform. Also, the potential wish from Bardock to keep Goku thriving in Dragon Ball Super could be misconstrued and now causes heavy arguments on both sides when the honest, objective reality is, until further notice, both sides are just assuming if or if not that wish did anything. And people get tricked online because some people talk like they know exactly what it did when objectively, at this very moment in time, it's just a theory and that is okay. So honestly, at this moment in time, for me personally, I'd put OG Goku in Team Hardwork, and Super Goku, I can see more being in Team Talent, Genetics, etc. Because again, I'm not saying Super Goku doesn't work hard, but there are more things that make me side-eye rather than back in the day. When the series was completed, it was just like, okay, yeah, this dude worked his ass off to be this strong, and he was just building himself up. The only real time I'd say OG Goku got a real bonus was, drinking the Ultra Divine Water, but majority of the time, he is just training and gradually improving himself, so I would say he gets that point. And it's completely fine if you don't agree with me. This is my thoughts on the subject. I had to actually go back and think on this for a while, but this is what I think in my honest opinion. Our Ninja Furry Boy as a human in the Naruto world started off so unskilled that watching him improve over the course of the series to become a beloved hero still makes me man-tear with liquid pride for our boy. But these days, I look back and start to wonder some things. For example, back when Naruto fought Neji, there was this whole big speech of hard work beating talent, but then later on we find out not only is our boy housing a nuke bomb beast that heals majority of his wounds instantly, or at least over time, even before befriending Kurama, His family is also part of a clan of ninja that have much higher chakra than most other ninja, and he happens to be the reincarnation of someone who is basically Ninja Jesus.
Right.
Now, do not get me wrong, Naruto did some impressive things and did master a bunch of stuff, and without him, Kurama would not have turned good. So he does, in fact, work hard. But in this very scenario, I think Rock Lee and Guy deserve Team Hard Work more so than Ramen Boy, you know what I mean? Because, like, I love you, Naruto, I really do, but you're going in Team Talent, because those are a lot of gifts, my friend. I want people to fully understand my headspace, so again, Goku, to his species in the original series 1984 to 1996, was a nothing to his species, the Saiyans, all right? And I'm not talking about humans, of course he stands out to humans, but that's why they were like, okay, we're gonna send this baby to Earth, because they should be able to wipe out this planet. This planet is pathetically weak. And so Goku back then was just ranked nobody. And over time, he far exceeded their expectations through hard work. And even Vegeta was like, okay, you may have a natural talent for this. But what Vegeta didn't mention was, like, in the Cell Game Saga, they straight up show that Goku trains smarter, not harder, all the time. All right, so he is very intelligent of how to, like, make himself stronger without, like, wasting unnecessary energy. And Naruto could have been like a great story of just like, all right, I'm a boy and I have to deal with this like cursed demon inside of me, and you know, I have to learn to master it, which is one thing. But then Kishimoto was like, nah, by the way, naturally your family is like already way powerful, like way more powerful than these other ninjas that you're, you know, peers with. And then also, by the way, you're the reincarnation of a Ninja Jesus, which makes you far more powerful as well. So it's just like, you see where I'm coming from? If you sincerely watch Hajime no Ippo and are not inspired even a little smidge to go improve yourself in any way physically, go to the doctor right now. Because something up there needs to be examined, because it's not working right. All right? Easy, Team Hard Work. I think we all know where this is going. I mean, I love Bleach, and honestly, my favorite aesthetic out of the big three, and our boy does work hard. But let's be real, how many different random bloodlines and power-ups did he get? As a matter of fact, I'm convinced Ichigo could beat Goku, and here's how I see it. Listen to this. All right, so Ichigo will be getting his ass beat, right? But then we get this random flashback about how one of Ichigo's ancestors was a Saiyan who had a child with a DBS angel, and then he activates that 1 milligram percentage of blood to transform to some new out-of-nowhere OP form, and then he just slams, okay? See, I'm joking around, but you could low-key see that, right? You could low-key see that happening, right? So, I love you, Ichigo, but Team Talent. For people who aren't Netflix only fans and don't suffer from LOBS 1 and 2, we've seen Baki has been training for all his life, going from a cocky redhead 13-year-old to a tame mellow beast 18-year-old. Our boy never stops training, and every time we see him, he is stronger than he was previously. Now, genetics-wise, he is a Hanma, and in his family, they are all beasts of men who probably have an IRL condition called myostatin-related muscular hypertrophy, and to learn more about that in depth, click this video right here. And Baki's mother was incredibly wealthy, so he had the best training from birth. However, I wouldn't say genetics is the end-all be-all factor for Baki, especially when we've seen him lose. As Yujiro, when he was Baki's age, was just so much stronger than anything else and trained more so by going out fighting and hunting strong people and creatures, and in his spare time will do some ridiculous physical stuff, but most of his strength came from demolishing everything in his way. Baki actively shadowboxes, runs, weightlifts, bones his girl, does calisthenics, etc., and then will fight and improve. To me, this is hard work and pure grinding day after day after day. So I'm definitely going to put him in Team Hard Work for this category. Now, I want to say this, I will be talking about the manga, so if you care, skip this right now, because it's not animated yet, and though it should be animated sometime later this year. That's all I'll say on the subject. So, Luffy is a unique case, because no one would say he is not a hard worker. He is a fighting genius, and even when imprisoned, he was able to train while locked in Sea Stone, which zapped him of his Devil Fruit power. He trained with his grandpa when he was younger. He trained with his brothers Ace and Sabo. He trained for 2 years with Rayleigh and trained again in Wano to master his haki. And most of his fights you could actually consider training for him as well, since fighting different opponents and picking up different rhythms does let you become stronger than if you weren't. Now here's where the genetic stuff kicks into play for Luffy the human in the One Piece world. Conqueror's haki is a haki only attained by being born with it. You can't train to have this one, and Luffy has it and mastered it. So, okay, nothing too bad at this point, but then we get to the Gum Gum fruit, aka the Goma Goma no Mi, which turned out to be Diet Toon Force fruit, which let Luffy achieve Gear 5, turning him into the Sun God Nika, who is incredibly powerful. Now, if we look at it objectively, Shanks did not want Luffy to eat this fruit. It was an accident which turned him into, what he is today. So it's a right place, right time scenario for our boy. He also inherited the Will of D, which I'm sure Hancock would love to get from that monkey. But that seems bum all, as many have had it and died. And without his rubber body, he would have been effed in many situations, especially when fighting Slim Shady. And while Luffy's luck isn't like Domino's from, Deadpool 2, X-Men, etc., because he would have been able to save his brother in that case, there's a lot of moments played up as either dumb luck or stupidity for himself. So with that said, while he works very, very hard, and I'm going to be cheering him on every single chapter until he becomes a Pirate King, he is very lucky in a way that's like, okay, that is a bit like there. So I'm going to put him in team talent for this one. Again, I love you, Luffy. I do. This does not take away, but this is just how I see it, because there's just a bunch of moments where I'm like, okay, Luffy, I love you, man, but you blessed there. Please, you must be out your damn mind if you think otherwise. I'm going to smack the shit out of anyone who thinks otherwise. All right, we correspond our boy right here. Our boy, the One Punch Man, spammed 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every single day for 3 years and became an inevitable burden to versus debates everywhere with just how overpowered he is now. Is he a gag character or a character meant to be taken super serial? The debate is up to you, but as a character himself, our boy is most def one of the hardest workers, because he started off as an average Joe and putting himself through a regimen transformed him to this. But was he blessed by a god? Well, actually, if you've read the original webcomic and the manga, we learned that our boy Saitama broke his limiter. You see, every creature on Earth has a set limit for how big they can get and how strong they can grow, and Saitama, the average, pure as white bread person, through hard work alone, broke his limiter, which made him broken. So he wasn't blessed. His silly ass just worked himself to baldness and is just growing even more stronger to this day. All right, so he is def in Team Hard Work right here. I'm sorry, I'm putting him in there. And some people will say, oh, that's Team Lucky, but really sit and analyze Saitama, all right? His whole thing was, I want to have really good fights with people. Now I am so strong that I feel emotionally numb. His whole thing is oh, Genos, no one could beat me. I'm so sad. I don't know, King. What do I think I should do? And his whole thing is just he is really trying to feel passion and get that emotion again, but he's losing it because he's so strong. It's made him so emotionally numb. So if your freaking thing, your superpower gives you depression and makes you feel emotionally numb where you can't enjoy life like you want to, I don't consider that lucky if it gives you a mental health issue. So yeah, I'm putting Saitama in Team Hard Work even more now. Izuku Midoriya, who by the way should have kept this mask look, it goes unreasonably hard, was just a mere boy who met the greatest superhero of all time in his verse, and then was bestowed that power when he proved himself worthy. But initially he had to train for months, follow a diet, and follow a detailed schedule called the Aim to Pass the American Dream Plan, made by All Might himself to help him reach his athletic hero build that he had. And quick plug, back in 2018, I was actually inspired by this and made a real-life version of a 10-month training program with meal plans and daily schedules to help people build athletic hero physiques just like Deku. And 5 years later, this program has transformed thousands of people so far. So check it out for yourself in the pinned comment if you're interested in doing the same for yourself. But after completing this routine himself and attaining the power, his body was not used to it and constantly broke like a copyrighted confectionery. But over time, he gradually worked to master One for All, and he developed some insanely powerful abilities, even surpassing All Might with the amount of powers he could utilize. Now, so far, our boy Deku did work and train hard once he knew he could get powers, but prior, he was obsessed with being a hero when he didn't have any, but yet he didn't take any martial arts classes or do any weightlifting to get stronger when he was natural until All Might believed in him. So he's not like a character like Asta from Black Clover who was told he was useless but still worked out religiously to be as strong as possible before he got his anti-magic sword. So for Deku, he worked hard when he had a goal, and he was lucky All Might saved him. He was lucky All Might saw him. However, the hard work overlapped that until we found Deku can use the powers better than All Might ever could. And with recent chapters, I'm really starting to think Dad, for one, isn't too much of a skeptical thought at this current date and time, and that is March 23rd, 2023 is when I'm recording this. So at this very moment in time, I think I am leaning more to team talent, since All Might was literally the best hero of all time, and now Deku in 2 years has become this powerful, and anyone else would not have gotten these abilities like him. Kenichi was lucky by the fact he met a beautiful, busty woman who took him to the gym where all the greatest martial artists on Earth hung out. But out of everyone on this list, and I do mean everyone, this boy started at ground zero and had no talent and is arguably the hardest worker on this list in a few places. Matter of fact, I was so curious about this, I actually did a full video in depth breaking it down. So, is Kenichi one of the most motivational protagonists, if not the most motivational? And you can watch that right here after this. Well, I'm going to wrap it here for now. If this video does well, I'll do a sequel on more characters, but if you made it this far, type grinding on my life, and be sure to like the video. It really helps it out a lot, or dislike it if you hate it, my opinions. And tell me your opinions down in the comments section below, because it's completely fine if you disagree with me. And tell me, which character is your favorite that motivates you, and why? And let's get a discussion going. And also a colossal shout out to all my patrons for people who want to donate and help me, because I really appreciate it there, and it lets me make bigger videos more consistently. But for those of you who just, support me there, thank you so much. And for those who just watch my channel, thank you so much. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, moment time. Hope you have a great one.